The front doors slam open at 2:11 in the morning. Malachi Reed stumbles across the marble floor with a black suit jacket hanging from one arm. His white shirt is wrinkled. One button is gone from his black vest. Rain runs from his hair to his jaw, and blood marks his cuff. He makes it 3 steps. Then he stops. Darius Baptiste stands beneath the grandfather clock, with his arms folded across his chest. His black shirt is open at the throat. His sleeves are rolled to his forearms. 2 guards wait near the staircase. The clock ticks. Darius looks at it, then at Malachi. Hi, viewers. Would you have told Darius the truth if you were Malachi? Comment yes or no. You said it was just dinner. Malachi's fingers tighten around the jacket. He has no answer ready. Darius takes 1 step forward. Dinner ended hours ago. Malachi backs toward the door. His shoulder hits the wood. Darius's eyes drop to the blood. Whose is that? Malachi looks down. His face loses color. He knows exactly whose blood it is. Malachi pulls a crumpled restaurant receipt from his pocket. Darius takes it. The receipt shows 8:03 p.m. His jaw tightens. You left at 8. Malachi says nothing. You told me you were meeting a friend. Still nothing. Darius steps closer. Malachi. The way he says the name carries no heat. Malachi finally lifts his eyes. I didn't go there to hurt you. Darius studies him. Then why did someone follow you? A guard near the staircase moves to the window and pulls the curtain aside. A black sedan sits across the street with its headlights off. The guard reaches for his radio. Darius never looks away from Malachi. Lock every door. Bolts slide. Footsteps pound across the upper floor. Malachi's breathing turns shallow. He expected anger. He did not expect the entire house to go into lockdown. Darius holds out his hand. Give me whatever you brought home. Malachi hesitates. That pause changes Darius's face. What did you bring into my house? Malachi slowly reaches inside his vest. His fingers close around a small silver key. The moment Darius sees it, he goes completely still. The key belonged to his mother, and nobody had touched it in 20 years. The silver key hits Darius's palm, and he closes his fingers around it so fast that the metal clicks against his watch. For seconds, nobody moves. Then Darius turns toward the staircase. Leave us. The guards disappear. Malachi watches them go. Darius walks to the nearest table and places the key beside the restaurant receipt. You found this where? On my pillow. Darius's head lifts. Who entered your room? I don't know. That answer is unacceptable. It is the only honest one. Darius stares at him. The house has rules. Nobody enters Darius's office without permission. Nobody touches his weapons. Nobody asks about family business. And nobody lies to him. Malachi has broken the last rule tonight. Yet Darius still hasn't ordered him out. A driver once sold his travel schedule to a rival. Darius found out before the driver made his second call. The driver lost his job and his standing in the city. A business partner once threatened Darius during a private meeting. The next morning, the man's company lost its largest contract. But Malachi does something different. He tells Darius when his coffee is burned. He once returned a $1,000 tip because the envelope contained money meant for charity. Why? Because it wasn't mine. Now Darius picks up the receipt. You went somewhere tonight that frightened you. Yes. And you came back carrying my mother's key. Yes. Did someone give it to you? Malachi pauses. Darius notices. Who? I can't say yet. Then you are asking me to trust you while refusing to trust me. Malachi swallows. I am asking you not to act before I know what I found. Darius leans closer. That sounds like fear. It is. The honesty stops him. Malachi turns toward the hallway. I need to check something. Darius catches his wrist. Malachi freezes. Darius releases him immediately. Check it with me. Malachi looks back. Neither man speaks. Then a phone vibrates inside Darius's pocket. He answers. The color drains from his face. The security chief speaks only one sentence. "Sir, the charity account was accessed again." Darius looks at Malachi. This time, the accusation is gone. So is the doubt. Someone is still inside the system. Malachi shuts the library door and spreads 12 printed statements across the desk. He circles the same number on 3 pages. $8,400. Then $11,700. Then $9,200. Different dates. Same destination account. The company has no public office, no listed employees, and no working phone number. Malachi opens the accounting archive and searches the payment code. He checks each transfer against the foundation calendar. Each payment lands before a family meeting, as if someone is preparing for something. 3 more transfers appear. His stomach tightens. Someone is taking money from the Moretti Foundation in amounts small enough to escape attention. A floorboard creaks outside. Malachi stops. The handle turns. Darius enters. Malachi quickly closes the folder. Darius notices. "You're working late. So are you." Darius looks at the papers. "Household expenses?" Something like that. That answer usually means no. Malachi slides the papers beneath a ledger. Darius walks closer. He does not reach for them. Instead, he sets a cup beside Malachi's hand. "Tea." Malachi looks at it. "I didn't ask for tea. You also didn't ask for the key." Malachi lowers his eyes. Darius pulls out a chair. "Sit." Malachi remains standing. Darius waits. Finally, Malachi sits. Then Darius says, "Someone has been moving money." Malachi's fingers stop against the paper. "You knew?" "I suspected." "How long?" 6 months. Malachi looks up sharply. Darius watches him. "I couldn't find the pattern." Malachi turns the ledger around. "The pattern is here." Darius studies the pages. Malachi points to the dates. The transfers happen every 11 days. The amounts change. The destination doesn't. Darius's eyes narrow. "Who else knows?" "No one." "Why didn't you tell me?" Malachi looks at the numbers. "Because whoever is doing it has access to your system." Darius's jaw tightens. "And you think I can't protect you?" Malachi gives him a tired look. "I think you can protect me after I know who I am protecting you from." Darius leans back. That answer almost makes him smile. Then the library lights go out. A sound comes from the hall. Metal striking wood. Darius stands. Malachi reaches for the desk drawer. "Stay behind me." A shadow passes beneath the door. Darius moves toward it. The door suddenly opens. Nobody stands outside. Only a white envelope lies on the floor. Inside is one photograph. It shows Malachi entering the library earlier that evening. On the back, someone has written 6 words. "Stop counting before someone counts you." The silver key lies on Malachi's desk before sunrise. The crest on its head matches the seal carved above the locked door at the end of the East Hall. Malachi has passed that door hundreds of times. Nobody uses it. Nobody talks about it. He walks there now. He fits the key into the lock. It turns. Malachi pulls the door open. Dust covers the floor. A narrow room stretches beyond it, lined with old storage cabinets and covered furniture. He steps inside. He freezes. Nothing moves. He searches the cabinets and finds old records, photographs and boxes from 20 years earlier. Then he finds a small envelope bearing the same family crest. Inside is a photograph of Darius's mother, standing beside a younger man. Malachi recognizes him. Victor Moreau, Darius's legal advisor. He turns the photograph over. A date is written on the back. 3 days before Darius's mother died. A sound comes from the hallway. Malachi shuts the cabinet. Footsteps approach. He slips the photograph into his vest and steps behind the door. The footsteps stop. The hallway chills. Silence. His hand trembles. Then someone slides a note beneath the door. Malachi waits until the steps fade. He picks it up. Some doors stay locked for a reason. He notices something else. A tiny smear of black ink marks the corner, the same ink used on the financial documents. Malachi returns to the library and compares the handwriting. The letters match. Someone connected to the money knows about the hidden room. Someone inside the mansion knows Malachi opened it. He hears Darius behind him. "You went into the East Hall." Malachi turns. Darius stands in the doorway. His expression is unreadable. "How did you know?" "The security system recorded the door." Malachi looks toward the camera. Darius follows his eyes. "Tell me what you found." Malachi reaches into his vest. He almost hands over the photograph. Then he stops. A new thought hits him. If Victor is involved, Darius may already be surrounded by people loyal to Victor. Malachi lowers his hand. "I found nothing useful." Darius's eyes narrow. "That is a lie." Malachi pauses briefly. Darius steps closer. "Who are you protecting?" Malachi's phone vibrates. The screen shows an unknown number. "Come to dinner tonight. Bring the silver key. Come alone." Malachi looks up. Darius is watching him. And for the first time, Malachi realizes the invitation may have been sent from inside the mansion. The house listens. The restaurant window explodes before Malachi can finish his first question. Glass sprays across the table. The older accountant drops beneath it. Malachi grabs his collar and pulls him down. A second shot tears through the wall. Malachi reaches for the flash drive the accountant has pushed toward him. "Take it," the man gasps. Malachi closes his fist around it. "Who is doing this?" The accountant looks toward the kitchen. "Your employer's family." A third shot hits the light. The restaurant falls dark. Malachi pulls the accountant toward the kitchen door. They run. A man appears at the end of the hall. Malachi turns sharply. The accountant shoves him through a service door. "Go!" Malachi stumbles into the alley. He runs without looking back. A black SUV turns the corner. Malachi cuts through a narrow side street. He ducks behind a delivery truck and holds his breath. The vehicle slows, then keeps going. Malachi waits. 5 seconds. 10. He checks the flash drive. Still there. His phone vibrates. "Darius." Malachi answers. "Where are you?" "Dinner." It is almost midnight. Malachi looks at the wet pavement. "I know." Darius's voice turns cold. "Come home." The call ends. Malachi starts walking toward the main road. He doesn't notice the man standing across the street. The man lifts his phone. He has the drive. At the mansion, Darius stands alone in his office. A file lies open on his desk. Inside are photographs of Malachi. The photographs are recent. Every one. His schedule, his employee records, his apartment address. Darius's fingers tighten around the last page. Someone has been watching the young man for weeks. The office door opens. His security chief steps inside. "Sir, we found something." Darius looks up. "What?" "The person accessing the foundation account used an employee credential." "Whose?" The chief places a printout on the desk. "Malachi Reed." Darius stares at the name. He remembers Malachi's face at the door. The blood, the fear, the silver key. Darius reaches for his phone. He recognizes the pattern immediately. He calls Malachi. No answer. He calls again. Nothing. Across the city, Malachi finally reaches the mansion. He steps through the front doors. Darius is waiting. Silence follows, and Malachi realizes the flash drive is no longer in his pocket. The mansion doors slam shut behind Malachi before he can take another step. Darius is already moving. His eyes drop to Malachi's empty pocket. "Where is it?" Malachi says nothing. Darius reaches for the pocket himself, finds nothing, and pulls back. "You had a drive." Malachi's throat tightens. "I did." "Where is it?" "Gone." Darius turns toward the guards. "Seal the house." Every lock clicks at once. Malachi watches Darius cross the room, but the boss does not raise his voice. That makes the silence worse. "Who took it?" "I don't know." Darius stops inches away. Then tell me what happened. Malachi finally does. He describes the accountant, the restaurant, the shots, the escape, and the warning. He leaves nothing out. When he finishes, Darius looks toward the grandfather clock. 2:19 a.m. Then he looks back at Malachi. You walked into a trap carrying evidence about my family. Malachi lowers his head. I thought I could handle it. Darius's hand closes around the edge of the table. You could have been killed. Malachi looks up. So could you. The answer catches Darius off guard. Malachi reaches inside his vest and removes the photograph from the hidden room. Darius takes it. His thumb stops over his mother's face. Victor Moreau stands beside her. The date is 3 days before her death. Darius's expression changes. He looks at Malachi. Where did you get this? The locked room. You opened it. Yes. Darius walks away. For several seconds, his shoulders remain rigid. Then he opens a drawer and removes an old envelope. He places it beside the photograph. The handwriting matches. His mother had written Victor's name once before, not as a friend, as a warning. Malachi watches Darius read the letter. The last sentence is torn away. Darius's fingers shake once. Only once. He hides it quickly. Malachi notices anyway. A phone rings upstairs. One of the guards answers. His face changes. Sir, the missing drive was just found. Darius turns. Where? The guard swallows. In your mother's study. Malachi looks at Darius. The study door is still locked. Nobody has entered it. At least, nobody they can see. Darius takes the key. He walks toward the stairs. Malachi follows. Neither man notices. The small camera hidden above the library doorway. Its red light turns off. Darius reaches the study before Malachi can speak. The door flies open. Malachi steps back. Darius reaches for the gun at his waist. The room is empty. The flash drive rests in the center of his mother's desk. Darius approaches it slowly. He does not touch it. A brown envelope lies beneath the drive. His mother's handwriting covers the front. For Darius. He opens it. Inside is one page. She writes that money has been moved through the family foundation for years. She names Victor as the person she feared most, but warns that Victor is not working alone. The final sentence stops Darius. Trust the person who notices what everyone else ignores. He looks at Malachi. A noise comes from the hall. Darius closes the envelope. Victor stands outside. He carries a folder. I heard there was trouble. Darius holds up the flash drive. Did you know this was here? Victor's eyes flick toward it. Only for a second, Darius notices. I have no idea what that is, Victor says. Why were you in the East Hall? I wasn't. The cameras say otherwise. The cameras can be edited. Victor looks at Malachi. Perhaps the real problem is the person standing beside you. He opens the folder. Inside are copies of the foundation transactions. Beside each one is Malachi's employee identification number. The evidence appears complete. Victor says Malachi accessed the records, contacted an outside accountant, and carried confidential information out of the house. Then he turns to Darius. You hired a servant. You trusted him. He used that trust. Darius looks at Malachi. Did you send these records outside? Yes. Victor smiles. Darius remains still. Malachi continues. But I sent them because someone was stealing from you. Victor cuts in. Convenient. Darius lifts the photograph of his mother. Explain this. Victor looks at it. His calm disappears for 1 second. He steps backward. Downstairs. The mansion doors open. Several guests arrive for the family business meeting. Victor turns toward the hall. Everyone deserves to know what your maid has been doing. Darius does not stop him. Malachi follows them into the dining room. The room fills with people. Victor places the documents across the table. Then he points at Malachi. The accusation begins. Malachi understands what Victor wants. He wants the accusation heard before the evidence. He wants Darius forced to choose between loyalty and proof. and he wants every person in this room watching when that choice is finally made. Victor has chosen this room for the public trial. The dining room falls silent as Victor places the documents across the long table. Malachi stands near the doorway in his white shirt and black vest, hands at his sides. Victor points toward him. He has been stealing from the foundation. A murmur passes through the room. Victor holds up the transaction records. His identification appears on every transfer. Darius remains seated at the head of the table. He watches. Victor continues. He met an outside accountant tonight. He took confidential files. He entered a locked family room without permission. Malachi looks at the faces around him. Some look shocked. Others look pleased. Victor has chosen his audience carefully. Then he places the final document on the table. A signed authorization. Darius's signature appears at the bottom. The payments were approved by Darius himself, Victor says. The room goes quiet. Darius slowly stands. He walks to the document. His fingers rest on the paper. Yes. Darius continues. I signed it. Several people begin whispering. Victor smiles. Then Darius lifts his eyes. I signed it 6 years ago. The smile disappears. Darius places another document beside it. This authorization was created before the shell company existed. He places another down. This signature was copied. Another. This account was opened using an address belonging to Victor's private office. Victor steps back. Darius keeps going. He doesn't shout. He doesn't need to. Every document lands like a hammer. Victor reaches for the folder. Darius's security chief blocks him. Victor turns toward Malachi. You did this. No, you did. Victor's face hardens. He pulls a gun from his jacket. The room erupts. Darius moves first. He pushes Malachi behind him as security officers rush forward. Victor fires once. The bullet strikes the chandelier chain. Glass crashes across the floor. Darius reaches Victor before he can fire again. The gun drops. Darius stands over him. For 1 second, everyone expects violence. Victor looks up. You know what happens if I talk. Darius's fist tightens. Malachi sees it. He also sees Darius lower his hand. Then, talk. Victor laughs. You think prison scares me? No. Darius looks toward the investigators waiting near the doors. You should be more afraid of the truth. Victor is taken away. Malachi removes his employee badge. He places it on the table. Darius looks at it. You're leaving. Malachi nods. You don't need a target walking around your house. Darius picks up the badge. His voice drops. Who told you that you were only a target? Malachi looks at him. Darius holds the badge tightly. Stay. Malachi does not answer. Darius steps closer. Not as my employee. The words hang between them. Then every light in the mansion goes out. The emergency lights snap on. Malachi turns toward the windows. Darius reaches for him, then stops himself. Outside, engines roar. Security moves through the halls. The power failure is not an accident. Darius orders the guards to secure the guests while he checks the control room. A small silver key lies on the floor. It has a different mark. The mark matches the symbol stamped on the shell company documents. He follows Darius toward the lower hall. The control room door is open. Inside, monitors show every camera in the mansion. One screen shows the library. Another shows the East Hall. A third shows Victor, entering the building earlier that night. Malachi points at it. Victor was not alone. A second man followed him. The face is clear. It belongs to the head of security. Darius stares at the screen. A car speeds away from the rear gate. Darius tells the remaining guards not to chase. Instead, he calls investigators. They arrive before sunrise. They collect the documents, drives, photographs, and keys. Victor's network begins collapsing within days. Several accounts are frozen. Darius's legitimate businesses survive because he allows independent auditors to examine everything. 3 weeks later, Malachi prepares a small suitcase. He walks into Darius's office. I should go. Darius looks up. Why? Because every problem you had became my problem. Darius stands. And every problem you had became mine. Malachi looks down. Darius steps closer. You were right about me. Malachi looks at him. You were afraid of what I would become when someone hurt you. Darius's voice drops. I was afraid too. Malachi's fingers tighten around the suitcase handle. Darius reaches for it. He doesn't take it. He waits. Malachi slowly lets go. 6 months pass. Darius refuses to lock Malachi inside the mansion. He has learned that protection without trust becomes another prison. That lesson costs him control, but it gives Malachi a reason to stay and choose him freely now. The mansion feels different. Malachi still works there, not because he has nowhere else to go, because he chooses to stay. Darius now leaves financial decisions to independent managers. He keeps one photograph of his mother in the library. Beside it sits the silver key. One evening, Malachi walks toward the front door wearing his coat. Darius looks at the clock. Where are you going? Dinner. Darius raises an eyebrow. I'll be back before 2. Darius watches him leave. He does not order him to stay. He simply says, call me. Malachi turns. Darius adds, I worry. Malachi smiles. The door closes. The clock continues ticking. This time, 2 a.m. is no longer a threat. It is simply a time when someone is expected home. Malachi steps inside, carrying 2 paper cups. Darius is sitting in the library. He looks at the clock, then at Malachi. You're early. Malachi places 1 cup on the desk. Coffee. Darius takes it. He smells it. You bought this. Yes. You know I don't like coffee this late. Malachi smiles. You'll survive. Darius takes 1 sip. His face tightens. Malachi laughs. For a man once feared across the city, Darius looks almost helpless, holding a bad cup of coffee. The silver key rests beside his mother's photograph. The evidence that once threatened to destroy the family now sits quietly in the open. Darius reaches across the desk and takes Malachi's hand. There is no demand in the gesture, no order, no fear, only a choice, made freely by both men. The same clock that once measured an angry wait now marks an ordinary night. Darius looks at him. What? Nothing. But it isn't nothing. The first night Malachi came home at this hour, Darius wanted answers. Now he simply wants him home safe. That difference says everything. Their lives are not perfect. They still carry scars from the people who betrayed them. But the mansion has changed, and so have they. Darius once believed power meant controlling every door, every person, every outcome. Malachi teaches him something else. Trust means opening the door and letting someone choose whether to walk through it. Protection means standing beside someone without taking away their voice. Love means giving someone room to remain themselves. The grandfather clock ticks again. Malachi lifts his coffee. Darius shakes his head at the taste. The lesson stays with them. Trust is chosen through actions, not demanded through fear. If this story gave you something to think about, share your thoughts in the comments and tell others what lesson stayed with you. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next story. Another journey about courage, trust, second chances, and the people who find strength when life gives them every reason to give up. Because sometimes the person waiting at the door is not waiting to punish you. Sometimes they are waiting because you matter.